Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. Welcome to episode 43. Tonight we have singer, songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist from Atlanta, MoDre. He's going to be joining us here shortly. So really excited for you guys to all meet him, bring him in the room. He's going to talk to us about his musical journey. He went to Berkeley. He's performed with pretty much everybody. He's toured on his own. He played at Coachella. He's done like all this amazing stuff. So I'm really excited for him to hop in the room. And we're going to get straight to it. So yes, episode 43, it's here. So I start each show with a song lyric. And tonight, the song lyric is from MoDre's new single, A Lot to Learn. It's hard to see the light when you always wake up in the dark. And you're waiting for a vision to be written in the stars. You got a lot of nerve, beating down yourself. What a way with words. You've got a lot to learn. And that's from MoDre's new single that'll be dropping in February. It's called A Lot to Learn. So we're going to bring him in here shortly and we are going to get straight to it. So how you guys doing this evening? I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And MoDre is in the house. MoDre, join the chat so I can bring you on in. Request to join my live, sorry. There he is.
Hey.
Good.
What's up, Ash?
How's your day going?
Man, it's good. I like to call today Easy Sundays. So it's been pretty cool. Had dinner with the family, which was super nice.
Yeah.
Did like Mexican night, so tostadas, burritos, and all that. So it's been good, man. I like to use Sundays just kind of as a day to wind down and enjoy the time with the family.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's amazing. So before you hopped in the room, I was introducing you as an artist to the room, and I shared a couple song lyrics from the new single, A Lot to Learn. Can you tell us a little bit more about this song and what the inspiration was behind it?
I think the inspiration came from, not I think, I know the inspiration came from a lot of people in my life, and myself included, who, you know, when you have these high goals or these high expectations for yourself, or expectations that have been put on you by life and family and friends or just society, sometimes you don't see yourself, you don't see the growth. You don't see we don't like to pat ourselves on the back and really kind of congratulate ourselves for the journey, and because life is hard. Sometimes, it's not always easy. And I think I wrote it because I wanted something that was going to speak to everyone, just to kind of encourage people to be able to see themselves as beautiful, see themselves as smart, see themselves as enough. And it's hard sometimes, when things are dark and life is hard, it's hard to see the light. It's hard to believe that everything's going to be okay. I think a lot of times when we're in those dark places, we just kind of, you don't want to hear people tell you, oh, everything's going to be okay, but I guess I figured if I sang it, maybe it'll feel a little different, and maybe it'll hopefully inspire people to be able to, kind of be encouraged and be motivated to see themselves as great and see how far they've come from where they used to be.
Yeah, I think that's so important because sometimes it's like we talk so negatively to ourselves and it's like, would you say that to your best friend? No.
Yeah, no, we're the worst, honestly, to ourselves sometimes, man. It's so easy to encourage our family and our friends, but it's much harder to look in the mirror and say, like, you know what, I'm proud of myself. I came a long way, and that's what the premise of the song is really just allowing people to look at themselves and say, like, you know what, I'm all right. I've worked really hard, and I deserve to be happy. I deserve to feel good. I deserve to feel proud, and that's what I want people to take from the song.
I love that. And I think it's so important, not just at any time in your life, but right now with all the craziness that's going on in the world. It's like, just take a deep breath, pat yourself on the back and say, I'm doing a good job. Like, we're all
Yeah.
doing jobs, like, but be nice to yourself.
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. Me and my girlfriend we talk about it all the time. Like any moment that we start feeling a little overwhelmed or feel a little anxious or whatever, I'm like, stop for a second and realize the whole world is going through. The whole world is hurting. The whole world is struggling, and so it's okay. It's okay to have down days. It's okay to have off days, but it's also okay to feel good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely spending empowerment, positivity, happiness, spreading that within yourself as well as everybody out there who listens to the song.
Absolutely. That's the one.
Love it. How old were you when you first got into music, and who inspired you?
I started playing music. Honestly, I was probably 3 or 4. My family come from a church family. So growing up in upstate New York, every Sunday we were in church, sometimes twice on a Sunday, Wednesday for Bible study. And my grandmother, I remember after service, being really young, always running up to the drum set and, wanting to get on. And the drummer there at the time, Corey, he was so gracious to me. So probably, about 3 or 4 was when it started, when I got the bite and the itch or whatever. And then from there, I think it just kind of took over. My mom and all her sisters, they all sing. And my mom's youngest sister who was my mentor, my Aunt Yvonne, she was the one that really kind of took me under her wing. She plays everything. She plays keys, drums, bass, guitar, sings. So when I was about 7 years old, I remember pretty much anytime she would leave the house, I'd go in her room, sneak and play on her drum set, mess with her keyboards. And so, yeah, it was just, that's where it started. And she really kind of pushed me and motivated me throughout the years. Hey, what's up, upstate New York? Got some of my folks in the room.
Wait, you're from Schenectady, right?
Yeah, well, I was born in Poughkeepsie, but I went to high school in Schenectady and grew up in Albany and that whole upstate vibe.
Upstate. I'm from Syracuse, so.
Oh, right, yeah, you uptown too. How's the weather up there? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. The snow is sticking. It's got about a good 4 to 5 inches, and as you know, you grew up in upstate New York, so you know how cold it is. I don't need to tell you.
Honestly, it's funny because when I come home, it's like I haven't been there. It's like I've never been there before. I feel like it's so different now. I think I've been to Georgia so long that my blood is just Poughkeepsie. Yeah, Poughkeepsie. Shout out upstate. We are from Syracuse. But yeah, so that's cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How would you describe the music that you create?
Honestly, feel good music. There's no other way to put it because the genre, I can't really put a genre on it because, well, I'm not, fortunately, my mother and my family, I grew up listening to everything, from Queen, Steely Dan, Sting and the Police to George Clinton, P-Funk, and then also, more current, hip hop and R&B stuff on my father's side. So I'm inspired and influenced by everything. So I would just say, feel good music. It's going to make you move. It's either gonna move you in your heart or it's gonna move your booty. It's gonna make you want to dance a little bit.
I love that feel good music because I feel like sometimes people are like, oh yeah, it doesn't really fit into a genre, but feel good music, positive, uplifting, you feel it. And
well, I think for me when I started making music, I never, I always wanted to make sure it was something that resonated with people. I didn't want to make anything that I didn't believe in myself because I feel like what's created, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. You know what I mean? And everything that I do, I mean. I don't make anything for the money or anything for the hype or anything for the fad of what's popular now.
Right.
It's just it's feel good music. Prince said one day, somebody asked him, he said, what kind of music do you make? He said, I make inspirational music. He said, I just want to inspire people, inspire them to love, inspire them to dance, inspire them to cry. So I'll take a little piece of that too and say, feel good music with a bit of inspiration behind it.
Of course. I think that's a great answer because it's you want to listen to something that you're like, oh, I understand exactly what he's talking about. I can relate that to my life. I feel like he's speaking to me. So inspiration, powerful, feel good music, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What's your creative process like?
Oh man, it's organic.
Mm-hmm.
Organic. I I don't like to put myself in a box. So honestly, you know, sometimes I'll come in and it'll start. Typically now at this point, it starts between guitar and piano. Mm-hmm. So, you know, whether it's just like a guitar riff, I have like over 300 voice notes in my phone. Yeah. That I'll be literally just like kind of humming a little something, and I'll get home later on and I'll kind of try to pick it out on guitar. Mm-hmm. Or piano, because piano is one of my favorite instruments, and I think it I don't know, it's just something about the feeling of the keys and the notes and how they work together. So typically it starts there, and then I'll lay like, you know, just kind of like a basic chord pass, or like some chord changes, maybe, you know, 3 or 4 chord changes, and then I'll go from there probably to drums, and then from drums, you know, maybe add some bass. I use a lot of live instruments, man. I come from, you know, the music that I love the most, i.e. classic music. The name of my company is the classics. Is the stuff when cats were like going to like Electric Lady Studios to record D'Angelo's Voodoo album, or they were going to like, you know, Gamble and Huff were in Philly at the studio, and they had real instruments and real musicians playing. That's always meant something to me. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I guess what I like to say is I like to blend a little bit of the old with the new. You know, and that's usually incorporating, you know, like I said, live guitar. I got acoustic. I got some electric guitars back there. And I got synth over here, but I'll blend that with like, you know, a lot of the production, a lot of the like, use like splice and stuff for like my drums. So it's kind of a hybrid. I like to call it, you know, it's an old school feeling with a fresh approach is what I like to say.
Beautiful. I love that. So the lyrics come later. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I've been in this zone recently where I really, I typically try to, when I first started writing, I would try to do it all at one time, but my mind goes so fast. If anybody in here knows me, any musician homies of mine, like when I'm in rehearsals or whatever, like it's like 100 miles per minute. So I can't get the information and the ideas out fast enough. So what I had to do was I recently, and thanks to my girlfriend, because she's a super dope writer as well, Lucy Graves. You'll hear from her if you follow my page. You'll see her all over it. But you know, we went to a writing camp recently, and one of the things that they did was like, you know, let's make the music, but then, you know, don't go in and try to write the lyrics right away. Come up with melodies, you know. So sometimes I'll just do mumbles, like literally I won't be saying crap, but I'll record myself with these ideas in my mind and then go back, choose the best like melodic parts, piece it together, add the lyrics, and then, you know, that's a record. But a lot to learn came at one time.
Really?
A lot to learn came because I bought a new interface called an Apollo, and I wanted to try it out. And I was like, all right, well, let me just do something straight a cappella. So I started that song literally with the la 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 la, and then like harmonies, and then after the harmonies, on the day when you're all alone, some will say, if you just hold on, like it was. I just honestly, man, and not to sound super spooky spiritual, but like I want this to be known by anybody that hears my music or knows me. I'm a conduit, man. I'm a vessel. You know, I would like to believe that these songs and this music comes from a greater and a higher place, and that, you know, I'm just here to be able to deliver them to the world or to whoever needs to hear them. So, it's hard to really put my finger on exactly what it is that makes these moments happen. But what I will say is, I think my openness to people and openness to life. You know, I'm very empathetic. I'm that friend. I love to listen to people and talk to them about what they're going through and their journeys and their experience. I love to encourage. So I think inadvertently, I didn't realize that while I'm talking to my sisters and my friends and what they're going through, these are all these things are coming back, and they're sticking to me. So when I get ready to write, it's just coming out. Daz, what's up, brother? Super dope drummer. It's my homie. He plays like Drumline Live, and it's in the Anderson Paak video. It's my guy. Yeah, man. It's so. You know, I guess to say the process, like I said, it's organic. I really try to keep myself open because I don't like to. I think one thing I learned is whenever I try to do things or try to like create this like method or this idea of like, I want to do things like this every single time, you end up having a lot of the same results, you know? And I mean, that's I think what they say, insanity is like expecting different results, but doing the same thing. And that was the thing for me. I was like, I had to get out of that box. And ever since that happened, man, it's like, I'll come in here one day and it'll be, you know, a folky James Taylor type record, and the next day it's like some 90s R&B or some like soul stuff. So honestly, I just want people to feel. I just want them to feel. I think we're in a time when popular music doesn't really make you feel much. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there's not a lot of music that mainstream radio is pushing that is plucking at the heartstrings. And unfortunately, and maybe it's because they feel as though, you know, music that's popping, that's jamming, that's got a dope beat to it can't pull at the heartstrings. But I don't think that's the truth. And I'm here to change that if I can.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about when you talk about top 40 music, because that's one of the main reasons I developed this show, is because I'm like, the stuff on top 40 is no good. There's people in every corner of this country, just like yourselves, musicians who are playing live instruments. They're passionate about it. They're writing and healing people through music. And I think it's so powerful. You hit it right on the head for me.
Man, I'm just, as I said, that's my heart. You know, I don't want to waste my time here. I don't want to waste my gifts. And I think, you know, I just think there's a need for more healing. You know what I mean? And if I can do that, if I can be a part of that, that would be awesome.
I love that. That's so beautiful. So you studied contemporary writing and production at the prestigious Berklee College of Music. What is the most memorable thing that you remember about Berkeley?
The environment.
Mm-hmm.
Being around so many really just talented, but just very unique and different individuals from all over the world. It blew my mind. I come from upstate New York. Shout out to upstate. Josh, what's up, bro? It's a very small town. Schenectady is not a big place. Right. And you know pretty much everybody. When I got to Boston, my mind was blown. You know, I had friends from Portugal, from Africa, from Asia, from, you know, New Zealand, Lucy, you know, and I just remember just like sitting at a pizza joint on the first week with a bunch of friends from all over, and like everybody's sharing these life experiences. And what the craziest part about it was that, you know, like we actually understood each other. Some of them didn't even speak good English, but like musically we were relating to the same stuff. We were listening to the same stuff at the same time. You know what I mean? And so I'd say the most memorable thing were the relationships that I built. I made friends for a lifetime. My girlfriend, you know, 3 years, and friend of almost 13, you know, that was Berkeley. My reason for moving to Atlanta was Berkeley. A bunch of the tour situations that ended up coming up came through homies that I knew who were touring, who had left Berkeley before me, and they're like, "Yo, you're out, you're in Atlanta now," you know. So yeah, man, you learn so much. I mean, the school itself was dope. Don't get me wrong. Like a lot of the music theory, a lot of the like learning how to chart and for, you know, horns, and a lot of stuff that I wanted to do with my degree, super dope. But it was honestly most of what I learned was from my friends, man. Yeah.
I think the environment is one of those things, because you never know who you're going to meet at Berkeley and what's going to happen. Like I interviewed somebody from Berkeley a couple episodes ago, and he was like, yeah, I met Brian McKnight. And then Brian McKnight was like, come to LA with me. And he dropped out of Berkeley.
Yep. Wait, I now wonder is he a drummer?
No, it's Matt Cuson.
Oh, Matt. Oh, right. Yo, but it's like that though, man.
That's crazy.
The degrees of separation are this small. Yeah. I was in Europe playing. There's a festival, Radio 1, big radio station out there. They have this thing called BBC Radio 1 Big Weekend. Yeah. And we were there with an artist named Rory, me and the band of brothers. And we got out there and we finished our set. We're walking around the field. And I mean, it's 80,000 people. I mean, crazy. So we're walking and I'm like, yo, I see 4 white guys and I see this small black guy in the middle. And I'm like, yo, he looks so familiar. And it ended up being my boy Will Wells, who I went to Berkeley with, but he was touring with Imagine Dragons. And like, it was crazy. We ended up hanging out with them backstage, just laughing, catching up. And then years later, me and Will ended up doing some work outside, and he did a tour, called me for some stuff. And Will, if nobody's ever heard of Will, Will is, he's done, Cynthia Rivos, the girl who played Harriet Tubman. He did the music for that, her single. He did, like I said, Imagine Dragons. Who? Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton. He did like all the like arranging and stuff for Hamilton. So it just goes to show. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I remember we were in school, like we were in like a theater. We were in an ensemble for theater music. That's what it was. It was the most, I guess you kind of say, cheesy ensemble. We were only 2 black kids in there. Like, and I look at him, he looks at me, and he's like, you like theater? I'm like, dude, I grew up on Grease. I grew up on, Hair and all that stuff,
Yeah.
So it was super, super cool to have that moment. And then literally almost 10 years later, we're in a whole nother country, a different side of the world, and we're building. And so, yeah, Berkeley was those relationships, man, that changed my life.
Yeah. That's so amazing. Especially because you're like in a totally different country. You're like, I know him.
Why? Right. Like, you think it's a mirage. You don't know exactly what's going on. You're like, damn, you look familiar, but it was crazy, man. And that ended up in turn opening up some other doors when I got back to America. So yeah, it was just, Berkeley was a hotbed, man. Everybody comes, I mean, there was kids. Think about it like this. At least 6 of my friends that were in Boston with me at the time weren't even Berkeley students. They moved to Boston just to hang out around Berkeley.
Oh.
Like, they would get apartments or they'd sublet for like 6 months, because that's a popular thing in Boston when you could sublet your apartment.
Yeah. They'll
sublet for 6 months just to be in Boston. Come to all the like rehearsals, come to all the jams, and then it's they were in the scene, and a lot of cats ended up getting work out of that too, just because the scene in Boston and Wally's and a lot of the clubs and little spots up for live music were it was just the place to be at the time,
Mm-hmm.
It probably still is now too.
So a Berkeley education without the Berkeley education, like
absolutely, you get
I love
it. Paying $45,000 a semester, you still
wow.
you can still get the get all the relationships, all the perks, but you don't got to deal with all the headaches. I mean, it was actually kind of weird too, because I remember like hanging out with some of them and being like, I gotta go get ready for school, and they're like, all right, we'll see you, and I'm just like, wait, you don't, and then I forget that they don't have classes, so I'd be like, but it was cool, man. It's just a great city, great school, great environment to be able to be a part of. If anybody out there is upcoming musician or singing, I definitely, at least check it out. They have a summer music program that you can go to too, even if you don't want to pay for the actual degree. You can just go and kind of be a part of that. And there's no age limit on that.
Awesome. So you touched on this briefly, but you moved to Atlanta after that. Why did you pick Atlanta and not another city?
Well, at the time, my best friend, his name is Devin Johnson. He's a musical director and producer, and he got a deal with Universal, and when he got signed, I was his musical director. I was playing bass in his band. Mm-hmm. I was arranging all his live music, and I actually started writing some stuff with him. So we moved here because he's from Columbus, Georgia, which is about an hour away from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So we moved here, and to me, I didn't want to go to LA because everybody was going to LA.
Right.
Everybody was going to LA. Everybody was going to New York. In New York, even though I'm from New York, it was just too fast paced, and it was really more focused on like the jazz scene and classical. And I wanted to do like R&B and funk and hip hop and stuff like that. And LA was heavy pop. So, and I just didn't want to go to LA and go broke. I know a lot of people who went there and like, struggled really, really hard financially. And then also like mentally went through a lot of things too, because, there's so much going on. There's so much competition. So Atlanta was just like the perfect balance between New York and LA. It gave me a chance kind of to, because it's got a great like scene as far as live music and stuff like that, but then it's also like it's beautiful like woods and trees. You can go hiking in Georgia. There's waterfalls down here. Like, you would not even believe you're in Georgia if you came to Atlanta. Like, the type of places I have to tell you about, I'll give you a list or something like that.
You need to. I've actually never been to Atlanta, but I've always wanted to go, and hopefully after this crazy global pandemic we're in, I can some of these cities that I want to go to, because
you got to do it.
Cool things about Atlanta, and especially like the music venues.
Man, yeah. I mean, it's hard now. They closed a lot of the venues here.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff shut down. And then obviously stuff just really isn't happening right now because of what's going on. But yeah, man, this city is rich. I mean, any night, I remember 3 or 4 years ago, any night of the week you could find live music, at least 3 or 4 different places. And it wouldn't just be live music. There was a sense of community and a sense of like, I don't know if you saw Purple Rain.
Yeah.
But like First Avenue, like, that energy where everybody's there, like low-key competition, but also like support. That's how it would be. Like, there's a spot called Aisle 5 in Atlanta, and that was kind of that started to become kind of one of the bigger spots in the city. Shout out to my Atlanta homies, James. Got a couple folks in here. Show, what's up? Yeah, man, I remember nights there, like coming off stage sweating and just looking out, or coming into the green room, and it's all the homies, Ruth B, Cam Corvée, these are just some names of some Atlanta folks, but like, it was, it was just I'm all about that togetherness and support, man. And that is the one thing that I didn't know coming to the city was going to be so rich, but it was, man. And that's what made me stay. You know, I had a lot of people here who looked out for me and connected. You know, I was able to connect to a lot of mentors that just made me want to stay around and continue digging in. Plus the history here, you know, I'm big, you know, music history buff. So like, you know, knowing about like Outkast and like, why am I having a brain fart right now? Rico Wade and all the guys, Dungeon Family. They did like Outkast and like Goody Mob. And then you got like L.A. Reid and Babyface. They started LaFace here. So you got Tony Braxton, Whitney was coming down here. You know, and a lot of the OGs that I was learning from were a part of these situations in the early 90s and the 80s. So I'm literally going to jam sessions, sitting up, talking to Lil John Roberts about touring with Tevin Campbell when he was, you know, mad young and like being in Africa and like, but it was here, man, the city, you know, it really did something special for my soul and definitely for my career.
Mm-hmm. And you're happy that you still live in Atlanta.
Yeah, I love it here. I mean, so much so my father and his wife and their kids, they all moved here 4 years ago. Then my two little sisters and my niece moved here last year. My girl moved here. She was on the West Coast, and you know, and then I went and roped her in and had her come on to Atlanta. So my best friend moved here from high school. Like I mean, I put it on a poster board. I was like, y'all need to move down south because you know, it was just great. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. Like I said, man, I think the beautiful part about being able to take my niece to the park or take her on a hike, but then also at the same time knowing that I can go downtown and go to a venue and go see some great live music. You know, I miss New York too. Don't listen. I love y'all and I miss y'all. But yeah, so I think that's really honestly what makes Atlanta what it is to me. And yeah, it'll always have a piece of my heart.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite songs to perform and why?
Favorite songs to perform? I will probably say I love Michael and I love the Beatles. So The Girl Is Mine is one of my favorites, kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
You know, Paul is amazing. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. Probably I'm a big James Taylor fan. I love folk music, like James Taylor, Carole King.
Yeah.
So Fire and Rain is another one of mine. Yeah, that's my jam.
I saw you post that the other day. I'm like, he loves that song, and that song is so incredible.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I feel bad for people. I mean, I told my girl, I just got on James like maybe 2 years ago. We were headed to New Zealand, and she was like, "You've been playing guitar recently." She's like, "You know, you ever listen to James Taylor?" I was like, I know, like, You Got a Friend, but like I never really. And then I downloaded a playlist, and I mean, all the way to New Zealand. So how many hour flight? 12 from LA, but then more here. It's like 20 something hours all together. So pretty much listening to James Taylor the whole way through. So James, Michael, and then I like to do, what's another one I like to do? I like Joe. I Want to Know. I'm a big R&B, 90s R&B fan. So that was like, when that record came out, yeah, I remember being like 12 and like, you know, having a little girlfriend and, you know, trying to like, you know, I don't know if I was really singing back then, but, you know, I put the song on. I played the song so she could at least, you know.
Yeah.
Puppy love.
Throwback.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I'm an old soul, man. I know it, and I'm embracing it, and I love it. But yeah, I just like stuff that pulls at the heartstrings.
Mm-hmm. So you've worked with TLC, Flo Rida, Keri, Hilson, countless other people. What other musicians do you admire?
Current or?
Current, 10 years ago, 30
right, cool.
years ago.
I'm going to mix it up. Thundercat.
Oh, yes.
Moonchild. Daniel Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Collier. Yeah. My friends. India Shawn is a really good friend of mine from Atlanta. She's killing the game right now. who else do I love? Kenyon Dixon is another really, really dope up-and-coming singer-songwriter. Let me see. Toto. I love Toto. I love Steely Dan. Who? Oh, Alex Isley is killing the game right now. She is so dope.
Yeah, she's
Sir. What's it? Phony People is a dope hip-hop band from Brooklyn. Yeah, I just like anybody that like anything that's real, man. Like anybody that I know, like you really feeling what you saying, you know what I mean? Totally. Yeah, India's killing the game. Super proud of her. Yeah, and then like I said, a lot of my friends, man, got a bunch of cats here in Atlanta that I love. Cameron Corvée is a super dope singer-songwriter from here in Atlanta. He actually wrote Sting's latest record, Don't Make Me Wait. Hero the Band, they were coming up next, Daz. You know I got you. Hero the Band is a super dope group of brothers here from Atlanta. Dope rock band. Who else we got from here? Algebra, PJ Morton. Man, there's so many. I gotta shout out my own band, the Band of Brothers. I gotta shout out my brothers out because those are my favorite guys. Yeah, my girl Lucy, she's amazing. Man, it's just so much. It's so many people, man. But I'm just inspired by anybody that really is in love with what they do. You know, because I think that's part of the thing that comes along with being a creative in a certain space. We're very empathetic. We have this empath thing that is really you can feel people, and so yeah, I know I feel pretty good that I know when somebody means it, and when it feels right, oh, it just shakes my soul. Oh, Theo Katzman, he's a part of a group. What is the name of that band right now? Oh, Theo is in the band. Anybody on here knows who Theo Katzman is? Let me know the name of the band because I'm having a brain fart right now. They do 1612, Animal Spirits, Back Pocket. I can't think of. I'll remember the name in a minute. But Theo Katzman is super dope. He plays everything. He's like, you know, Prince vibes, but not. But also, yeah. So anyway, I just love it all. I love it all, man.
And I love it because you said so many passionate musicians. Like all those people that you just named, like a very diverse group of people. They're all passionate. Like when you hear them sing, you just feel it in your soul.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and that's what I mean. It's not a question.
Right.
And of course, Prince. I didn't even know why I didn't say that, but Prince is like Prince and D'Angelo right now for me.
Definitely.
You know, just because, you know, especially from the musician standpoint, those guys like embody their music truly. Like they become the music, if that makes any sense. Like you know how there's some people you get on they'll get on the piano and sing or play, but it's like no, like the guitar. Literally becomes Prince or D'Angelo, the piano, whatever they do, and there's no doubt in anybody's mind whether or not they thought that stuff that they were making.
Yeah.
And they didn't live by anybody else's rules. I'll say one thing. What makes a lot of these people my favorites is the fact that there's no compromise. Like if you watch Thundercat's videos and he does what he wants. That man believes his own. Oh, he knows there's something there, and he knows that there's a crowd and a group of people who might be slightly eccentric or weird or different, and they love that too. You know, and I think that's what makes me fall in love with these people and their creativity and inspires me to be more myself is the fact that they're, you know, just relentless with their standpoint on their creativity, and there's no limits. So yeah, those are
and they're breaking barriers in their own way. Like Thundercat, like. No one can touch him.
No.
He's
but yeah. Say no. Keep going.
No, he's insane. I saw him at Brooklyn Steel a couple years ago. He was headlining himself, and then I saw him open up for Anderson .Paak at MSG, and it was just like two completely different rooms. But it's just like he's amazing, Thundercat.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I told somebody recently. I said all of my favorite people were willing to go against the grain. Stevie, Marvin, you know, when they first came out, it was great, but you saw a shift.
Right.
You know, when Songs in the Key of Life came and like he started doing interventions and Barry gave them both the creative control to be able to make the music that they wanted to make. That's where Mercy Mercy Me came from. That's where, you know, I Want You and all these records, you know, and I think there's something to be said about that when it comes to music now, and the labels and the powers that be that have the control over what comes out.
Right.
What if you actually gave, or maybe not so much give, because a lot of these artists now aren't even writing a lot of their own stuff, so I can't even say that. But if you gave artists that actually had the ability to do so the chance to be original and to be themselves, man, I think it would really change the way, change the music that we're listening to, change the stuff that's on the radio.
Definitely.
I'm just a believer that people eat what you give them, but if you give them something good, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Hopefully, there's a shift happening because there's a lot of good music coming out nowadays. So
yeah, there's some amazing artists that are just so underground. It's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could turn the radio on and hear them.
Right, like seriously, like I'll be wanting to scream at the top of my lungs, like, yo, y'all need to listen to, you know, so and so. It's so much stuff out there, man. But it's hard to cut through nowadays too because it is so much.
Totally. Are you familiar with Alan Stone?
Yeah.
I want to hear him on the radio.
Like, really though. But it's crazy because at a point you would hear, you know, maybe Elliot Yamin, or like when Robin Thicke came out with that first album, you know, it was the same type of sound and feeling, but like, what happened? Why is it frowned upon? Why is Brown Eyed Lover not on the main? Because that junk is grooving. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, but I also believe that, you know, and I tell the people that I create music with all the time that, you know, it's an important thing to find your tribe and to find your people. And the world is so big, and thankfully enough to social media, there's a means and ability to be able to reach and touch your fan base and really continue to engage with the people that love your stuff. So I'm thankful for that because it actually gives people like Alan and Moonchild and people like that, you know, who make really dope music, a chance to be able to connect with their people. Although I still feel like if they were on mainstream radio, it would be bananas.
I know. I get chills when I think of like, oh my God, if you turn the radio on, you heard them. Right? Like, it would be insane.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, it would change a lot. It's just, it's sad because of the fact that, like, at a point in time, you know, popular music wasn't always a sound. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a genre.
Yeah.
Now you can say, if I say pop, most people are gonna think, oh, Dua Lipa, oh, you know, Sam Smith, like certain, you know, there's a connotation, there's a sound with it, there's a feel. It's either, you know. But, like, you know, back in the day, you know, Stevie Wonder's Do I Do was popular, and it was played on the radio. You know, even, like, not even so much back in the day, even in, like, the 2000s, it was just a lot more variety to what was being played and what we were being fed. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's missing. And I think that, I'm going to be honest with you, I think that affects the way of the world. You know, you think about the times and, you know, in the 70s going through civil rights movement, there was literally music that literally went along with what was happening. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just like, you know, Stevie and Marvin Gaye. It was, you know, so many Led Zeppelin, so many, you know, different styles that were really speaking for the times. And it was a rainbow, you know, of you know, just creative, just goodness. So yeah, man, it's an interesting time, but I think there's still hope.
There's hope. We're hoping.
Absolutely.
Hoping so. So you've toured extensively. What is life like on the road? And what was one of your most memorable experiences on tour?
Life on the road was fast. Mm-hmm. Fast. Intriguing.
Yeah.
Life-changing. Mm-hmm. Lonely. Fast. You say on a good tour, you're doing at least 4 to 5 nights a week. Sometimes, I remember one time we were doing like 5 to 6 nights a week.
Wow.
And yeah, and I mean, literally, like, so let's just say you leave the city you start in, you get to the venue at noon, you're doing sound check you're loading in, sound check by 2, you may have time to get a little something to eat, then you're back to the bus, getting dressed, getting ready, then you got, it was just so much fast movement. You play the show, you get out, you load out probably 12:30, 1 o'clock, By the time you're done loading out, it's 2 o'clock and you're back on the bus headed to the next city, hopefully sleeping for 4 to 5 hours, because you'll probably get to the city around 8 or 9, get breakfast, and then head straight to the venue. Like, it was, I mean, everything was so fast. You know, so yeah, definitely fast paced, exhilarating and exciting, because you're in these new cities and all these new people that are so excited to be there and so excited to feel what you're about to bring. And the adrenaline rush is second to none. Like, you can't, that's a drug that you'll never be able to, yeah, it's a crazy feeling, man. And especially, you know, for me as an MD in a lot of those situations, you know, where it was music that I was arranging or music that I was, like, you know, programming and stuff, to hear, you know, those big arrangements in a stadium or in, like, a, you know, venue the size it, like, it's just, man, that feeling, it's just, it makes you feel like a little kid again. Really,
Yeah.
you know, so definitely that. You know, of course, the playing side of it is just amazing. Being able to see different countries. I've been to more countries than I can even count, and played on more stages than I can count. And, you know, it was, yeah, it's literally a dream come true. So that's the good side. Lonely is another side. You know, I remember, I think there was a point I was doing, like, I'd be out for like 3 months, come home for like a month, then back out again for like another 2 or 3 months. I mean, it was so much. And at the time I was single, I was living on my own, and my family was all over. And so, you know, you don't realize how much you miss watching a movie with your siblings. How much you miss going to the park and taking a walk. How much you miss literally just sleeping in your own bed, man. Like, and then you just miss real people. You know, unfortunately, the industry, there's a lot of, it's filled with a lot of people that are they're there for a season. They're in your life for a season and a reason. Management, your tour buddies, a lot of the time, you'll see them when you're on tour. After the tour is over, you probably won't never hear from them unless you're back on that run again.
Right.
So yeah, it could become very, very lonely. You know, you spend a lot of time eating meals alone, spend a lot of time, you know, going shopping if you're out, you know, in a city and you need to go grab clothes, you know. So it was hard. I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of Christmases. I missed a lot of, you know, stuff like that. But I think obviously, like I said before, the experience in itself, you know, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I just think I would have prior to touring, I think I would have paid more attention to being a human being. In this industry, when you're working to be a writer, producer, musician, whatever, there's this thing where it's called team no sleep, and I sleep when I'm dead, or you know, you got to go hard, you got to sacrifice. You know, I don't believe that's entirely true. I think you can still have a soul, you can still have family time, you can still have a wife and kids, and you can still enjoy these things. It's just about prioritizing. You know what I mean? And I think that was one thing I didn't do prior to getting on the road. I've been on my own since I was 16, you know, and playing in bars and clubs since I was about the same age, 15, 16. So it was always just a go, go, go. You know what I mean? Got to get to this, got to meet this person. You know, I got to make sure I show up on this gig and I deliver everything. I overachieve so that I can get the next call back. And yeah, so it was a lot. But I think the to sum it all up, touring made me understand the world. I think in a way that I didn't for a long time. I come from, like I said, like small town, you know, Christian background, and you know, within small townness and as well as the religious side of it, they're not always open-minded. And one of the best things for me was being able to travel to these different countries, go to Turkey and, you know, to Japan, and you know, see how different people worship and how different people identify with just life and music, you know. And so yeah, I think touring, to sum it all up, man, it made me a better people person. It made me more aware and more open-minded, and I think it also helped. I didn't realize it at the time because I wasn't writing songs back then, but it helped me to be able to write the songs that I'm writing now, which, you know, I can say, thankfully enough, you know, and not a big deal to many, but I have people in random countries who just I'll be looking at my Spotify thing and they're like, yeah, somebody in, you know, Brazil or in, you know, Timbuktu is listening to your song.
That's
And I don't, like I said, I'm not doing this for the riches and the fame. I'm doing this because I want to reach people. And that to me that's success.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't say that arrogantly. I just say that hopefully to encourage anyone else out there who has this skewed idea of what it means to be successful. You know, we push ourselves so hard as creatives to get to this place where we're making millions of dollars and we're winning Grammys and we're doing all these things the status quo says is success. But no, the success is in the moment. The success is in believing in yourself. The success is in believing in what you're doing. I was successful every time I got on stage and I played my part. I'm successful in the fact that I can sit here and write a song and even if nobody else hears it. It made me, I feel good about it. And I know that, you know, I'm fulfilling and using the gifts that I was given by God to be able to share with whoever. So, that was a lot. I said a lot, but I hope that kind of answered your question.
No, I totally know what you're saying, because I've had a lot of people talk about success, and it's like, it's not about a Grammy. It's not about, you know, making 70 million a year. Like, of course that would be nice, but it's just like, sometimes it's like,
yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, I just want like a house, a car, and to put good music out.
Seriously, man. And can I just throw in there some more good travel? Because we just got to make sure we can. That's me and my girl talk about it all the time. I'm like, yo, we can eat. We got somewhere to live.
Yeah.
We can literally, you know, we can travel and still see the world. You know, that's the biggest thing for us, man. You know, is, you know, and the music, you know, the music is important too. But I think that's just a byproduct. We're human beings. We're people. You know, and I think there's an important, when you take the people out of the music or the heart out of the music, that's where, you know, I just feel like that's where a lot of the darkness comes, a lot of the hardships come. I think people resonate with light.
Yeah.
You know, people need, you know, and so I think in order for me to be a better creative and a better musician and songwriter, I needed to become a better person.
I love that. And I think it's kind of like the ebbs and flows of life, right? Because if you didn't go through all that traveling and all that, you know, all the things that you learn on the road, the goods and the bads and the loneliness and the, oh my God, what city am I in next? The crowd, all of that combined. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like I needed that.
Yeah.
The reason I am this person is because of all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't. Yeah, man. I mean, I remember we were in Salt Lake City with this. I used to tour with this artist named Ruth B. She's from Canada, and the majority of her audience were 9 years old to 18, because she had a song called Neverland. It was like a really sweet Peter Pan-esque song. Like, she was, you know, just really, really dope.
Yeah.
Nice music. But like, the thing was, it was weird for me because I'm like, all right, I'm 25, 6 at the time, and all these young kids. But yo, they were so hyped to be there. They were so excited to be at the shows. And after the show, this little girl waited outside. She was in the parking lot. I remember walking across the street, walking out the venue, and I saw her standing in the parking lot, and she was standing outside the car, and her mother had gotten really wasted. And I guess her mom had been dealing with like alcohol issues and stuff. And she waved me down, yo, and was like, you know, Dre, you know, she introduced us, so she knew my name from there. So I ran across the street, and I stood there with her, and I was talking, and she's like, you know, my mom's passed out. It's a crazy situation. But I sat there and I talked with her, and she was just, in spite of what was going on, she was so excited about music. She was so excited about being there at the concert. She was so, you know, motivated for life and for what she wanted to do. She told me she wrote songs. She told me she played piano, and she was like, I hope I can send you some stuff. And we still talk to this day. We're still, you know, and you know, I went through my own share, and I won't go deep into it, but I personally come from a bit of, you know, family issues, and know what those, you know, what drugs and alcohol can do to your loved ones. And for me, it was I had to do by any means necessary for me in order to get to this point in my life. I'll just put it to you like that. I shouldn't be where I am, but by the grace of God and a whole lot of hard work and a lot of great people who believed in me, I made it here. But I realized in that moment, seeing her in that parking lot, how much that could have hopefully just changed her life in that one moment. Because your reality says your mom's an alcoholic and she's sitting in the car passed out. But the other side of reality is you just left from seeing a super dope concert and you're inspired and you're motivated to chase after whatever it is that you want. So in that moment, it made my mind. I gave her a big hug, and then like we left, and yeah, we've talked ever since then. So that's what I mean, like, about taking the human out of the music. You can't take the human out of the music, because even if you're just a musician, background singer, people need people. They need to feel you. You know, they don't just need to see you on stage. They need to see you walk off the stage, and then they need to see you come up and say hello, or give them a hug, or say something nice. Tell them they're sure. And I'm not saying that to like sound narcissistic or give myself any credit. I'm saying that to say that's something that I learned, you know, through my journey in life, that the majority of these relationships and the support that I have now has come from me being a human being in a place where I technically was just supposed to be what I like to call a magician. Where I have this concept, it's like people believe that musicians are, you know, magicians because we can do things really fast and make sounds happen. But all while that is true, we're humans first. We're people first. And yeah, so that's my spiel on that.
I love that story about that girl, because I was like envisioning her, you know, like what she was going through. Like, you said she's 9, right? Or was 9 at the time?
Yeah, she was like 10. She was like 10. And her mom, I guess she had a couple too many at the bar, and she was sitting out. I guess she was letting her sleep it off. But at that moment, I knew that you've seen this before. And that broke my heart, because you obviously have been in this position. This isn't the first time you waited on your mom to get sober so y'all can go home.
Right.
You know? But it hit me. And it still does to this day. You know, and for any kids, anybody young or not young, just anybody in life that's going through dealing with, you know, life so much in a way that you're maybe not able to give completely to your gift or whatever it is that you're excited about, you know, that I hope that message inspires people to not lose their fire, because life happens, you know, it gets hard, family, relationships, health. But you can't, you know, you can't lose that bit of excitement, even in the dark, you know, even in the hard times, you gotta have that little glimpse inside of you, that little bit of something that stays lit, so that you can, you know, continue fighting on.
I love that. Like one step at a time.
So that's all you can do. Hey, Colette. Hey, Lyric. Hey, Deb. Thank you guys for coming in and tuning in.
Yes, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. This is such an incredible conversation. I'm loving this. So this is the part of the show where you are going to perform for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a little something.
Do you want to type something in the comment section below?
I'll give everybody my info if y'all so let me see.
Hey guys, for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We see all your comments.
No pressure, people, but you know, we are out here, independent musicians. If you feel led to give,
yes,
Cash App is on the thing.
Yeah, please donate if you can.
Okay. This song is called Lot to Learn. On the day when you're all alone, some will say, if you just hold on where you lay, you can feel it getting closer. And it's hard to see the light when you always wake up in the dark. When you're waiting for a vision to be written in the stars, you got a lot of nerve, beating down yourself. What a way of words. got a lot to learn. So go and pick yourself up on out the dirt, 'cause you got a lot to learn. My sweet precious one, wish you could see how much you've grown from where you're coming from. You should be proud of what you've done. And it's hard to see the light when you always wake up in the dark. When you're waiting for a vision to be written in the stars, 'cause you got a lot of nerve, beating down yourself. What a way with words. You got a lot to learn. So go and pick yourself up on out the dirt. You got a lot to learn. On the day when you're all alone, some will say, if you just hold on where you lay, you can feel it getting closer.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That song drop.
That comes out February 12th on all platforms. Actually, for everybody that's tuning in, the pre-order link is in my bio. So if when y'all are done watching this, or whenever you do it now, whatever. But yeah, slide on over to my bio and grab that. I think hopefully it'll bless you guys. The original song, the actual record, it's got a lot more production. It's a little bigger. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all.
I love it. It's such a beautiful song. Like those lyrics, woo! It just they just hit you.
Thank you.
Ooh, love it.
Thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Awesome. And what's your next one going to be?
My next one is an oldie but a goodie for me and any of my supporters. It's this original song called Free. So this is actually the first song I wrote as an artist. This is the first song that I put out, I believe, yeah. It was just, it's honestly, to be real, it's a song that speaks to I think a place that a lot of us want to be. We all, are influenced by social media and by fads and what's going on, and again, like I was saying, the idea of success and
Right.
or even the idea of happiness, that means something different for everybody. It means something different to everybody, and I wrote this song because it was kind of just where I was at the time and how I was feeling, and I guess the ideal of where I want to be in my life and the life I want to live. I want to live a life of freedom. I want to live a life that isn't based on what anybody else wants me to be or wants me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what free is about. Oh, let me start one more time. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hands are sweaty. Free taking long walks in the park. Free. It's just me and my guitar. Free to spread my wings and travel far. Free, reach for the moon and hit the stars. One destination in mind. Pay no attention to the time. No hesitation. All I wanna be is me. All I wanna be is free. All I wanna be is free. To make my own decisions now. Free to do the things that make me smile. Free to give my best no matter how. Free, 'cause there's no better time than now. Oh, did that pause?
It paused on my end. I don't know if it
It
paused.
paused?
I saw
It paused on my end.
you.
Huh?
I saw you. I just couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, it paused. We're gonna start from that third verse.
It could have just been on my end and not on theirs because sometimes it's a little finicky, but continue.
Okay. Third verse.
Third verse.
Here we go. So, free. Okay. Free. The smoke is clear, the dust is gone. Free. And now I'm standing on my own. Free. No longer weak, now I am strong. Free. I found a place that I'll call home. One destination in mind. Pay no attention to the time. No hesitation. All I wanna be is me. All I wanna be is free. All I wanna be is free. All I wanna be is free.
Give it up. Give it up.
Thank you. Sorry for technical difficulties, everybody.
No worries. And guys, his Cash App is right down below. I pinned it for everybody. So if you guys have any questions at this time, please feel free to put them in the chat below. Thank you, Asia.
Let me charge it. Put my phone on the charger. But yeah, thank you again. Let me just, I got to tell you how much this means to me and to, you know, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of a bunch of other independent artists. You know, these times are really weird for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not being able to sing in front of a crowd that can clap back,
Yeah.
not being able to even just get out and share our art. So this really means a lot, and thank you for having me. I don't, like I said, it was crazy how you even found me. But it was cool because I saw, you know, Matt, and then I saw Mike Jarrell, who I know.
Yeah.
Columbus, Georgia. I know him from Columbus when I first
Yeah.
moved to Atlanta. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's really cool what you're doing, and I think keep going. You know, I don't know what your goal is, but I think I'd like to believe that you're achieving what it is that you what you started out, you know, to do.
Thank you, thank you. No, I truly appreciate that because when I had originally spoke to you, we talked about Matt, and when you said Columbus, Georgia, I was like, he probably knows Mike because the thing is, like, everybody knows everybody in the music industry. They really
Yo,
do.
it's so small.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I just want to say thank you for agreeing to come on my show and sharing your gift. And we have a couple questions in the chat, so let's.
Okay, cool.
What instrument would you like to learn next?
Saxophone.
Mm.
Saxophone. I was literally just saying that the other day. That probably would have been my instrument had my mom been able to afford it when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to play first. So yeah, sax will probably be yeah. I mean, yeah, that'll probably be next. Get a couple horns in there.
Sounds good. Where would you like to perform next?
Not in my bedroom.
I know, right?
Not in my studio.
Anywhere but the home.
No, honestly, overseas. We're looking to go to New Zealand in the summertime. Potentially, you know, hopefully everything works out. But yeah, we're trying to go over there, and you know, like I said, my girl, her family's from there, and you know, we're gonna go and kind of plant some seeds and hopefully, you know, play outside in front of people with screaming crowds and
Yes.
hugs and all that good stuff.
I know that energy for you is going to be like, wow, this is exactly what I was talking about.
Yo, that feeling, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you prefer to work on your own or with other musicians?
I love to collaborate, but no, I love to collaborate. There's no but. I love to collaborate, and I love working on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of work on my own. I do, mainly because for a long time I didn't really believe in myself, and and this is just a very honest. I didn't produce and write songs for a long time. Like this whole thing, getting back to this is like a lot of the music I put out is like the past 2 years of work, 2.5, 3 years of work.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I honestly, this time in this period where I am, and I post a lot of videos making beats and stuff like that, and it'll just be me playing a bunch of instruments. It's fun to me, you know. I like sitting here in my room. Plus, nobody has to come here and give me coronavirus, nothing like that. So yeah, I love working on my own, but I'm also a huge collaborator. Me and Lucy, we write and record a lot of music together. There's the Band of Brothers, you know, who we've got a couple records out, one called Lonely World and one called GBO. Mm-hmm. That was a collaborative effort where everybody wrote and produced on it. Yeah, so it's on the situation. I like working with people who are open-minded. So that's my biggest thing. You know, no egos, whatever's best for the song.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever do a song with your sisters or cousins?
Yeah, actually, I'm working on that right now. I have my sister, Eri, she's an artist, and we've been working on her stuff for about the past year and a half. So we've got a bunch of records in the can. One in particular that we started a long time ago. She knows which one it is, but yeah, it's a duet. It's a duet between me and her. So I'm working on finishing that up so we can get that out, because that's my girl, man. She's special, and she's gonna kill the game.
I love it. What's Ari's last name? I want to know if we're talking about the same Ari.
Ari Clayton.
Okay, different Ari.
Yep. Yeah. She's super dope. Young. She's like 24, so she's just getting her bangs about her. But she, you know, this past year and a half, she's gotten, well, prior to COVID, she started getting her calls for her little gigs, singing background and doing her stuff. So yeah, that's my heart, man. We're gonna do some stuff together for sure. And my aunt Yvonne, who I was saying is my mentor, we're working on a record actually this week. So definitely keeping it all in the family.
I love it.
Yeah.
So where do you see your career in the next 5 years?
Writing a lot of music for television and film.
Mm-hmm.
If the world changes, I want to be able to change with it. But even prior to this whole thing, me and Lucy and I had been working really hard to try and secure some relationships within the sync and licensing world.
Yeah.
So I got first 2 placements this year on BET, a movie called Open and a movie called Always a Bridesmaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that feeling, is very close to that feeling I get on stage. It's just different though, to know that people that you could create something that could alter a moment.
Of course.
Or could literally go coincide with the moment that is just so, what I'm saying, right here. So yeah, I'll say a lot of television and film,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully touring internationally with my band and with my girl and myself. I'll say doing a lot of writing and production with my crew.
Mm-hmm.
And my crew knows who they are.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amanda Belair and Kennard and like I said, Lou and Ari and Band of Brothers. There's a tight-knit group of people right now that are really important to my life, and we've been working on records that span all genres and fields. So I'm really excited. I haven't really showed anybody any of this stuff, but yeah, we're gonna be rocking. We're gonna be rocking for a long time. So 5 years, yeah, I just want to be better in 5 years, better than I am now. I want to be a better artist, better producer, songwriter, better leader, better big brother, better boyfriend. And like I said, yeah, just y'all hopefully check Netflix or go to the movies and you'll hear some stuff the next 4 to 5 years.
By yours truly.
Yes, yes.
All the music in the films will be from you.
No, seriously, I'm manifestation is everything. We're gonna do it. Like animated film is a big thing.
Yeah.
I really want to do some like Disney and Pixar stuff, but then also whatever else comes from that. But yeah, the whole film.
Amazing. So cool. Oh my gosh, gotta look forward to that. A lot of big things coming your way.
I'm praying so.
Yes. So that's all the time that we have this evening, but I just want to say thank you again for agreeing to be on my show, sharing your gifts with us, having a beautiful conversation with us, very honest, open, forthcoming about empowerment and just positivity. It was just such an incredible conversation, and thank you guys all for joining the chat. Do you have any final words for the audience?
No, man. Just thank you. Thank you to anybody who popped in, popped out, said hello. Thank you to you, Ashley, again for this platform. And just, I guess, thank you to anybody who's seen my heart through my music. Yes. I just, it means the world to me. And I say it to a lot of these people. Elle, she's in here, Deborah, a couple of like really consistent supporters that let me know how much my songs mean to them. Yes. And I want y'all to know how much it means to me that they mean that much to you. So that's it, man. And just, keep living, keep loving, keep laughing, and keep dreaming, and manifest whatever it is you want in your life. Because I'm a living witness since I was a child. The things that I manifested as a baby, as a young kid, changed my life because of my belief and my lack of ability to waver.
Definitely.
So yeah, just stay the course, man, and keep living and loving.
I love it. So do you want to plug everything that people can find you on, all your social media channels?
Yeah, it's honestly okay. So I can't say it's easy because social media is weird. Instagram at MoDre3. As you know, if you're watching, you follow that. If you post this anywhere else, they can see that. Instagram. Facebook is Who Is MoDre, MoDre, / Who Is MoDre. Instagram and Twitter are the same. Yup, MoDre3. And I mean, yeah, that's it. You see the Cash App. You want to bless your boy? That's cool. I have music. Yeah, right. I have music on all platforms: Spotify, Instagram. I have a EP out called Ready, which is my first EP. I have a single, Made Up Your Mind, Never Be the Same. Got I See You, which is a little more hip hop. Listen to the music. It's all over the place, but hopefully it's a little bit of something for everybody. And then February 12th, mark your calendars, February 12th, A Lot to Learn will be out. And I hope you guys enjoy that one.
Yes. February 12th.
Yes.
Mark it in the calendars, guys.
Yes, and the link is in my bio, so you can pre-order that mug now and support an artist and actually buy it. Don't just stream, because we get like pennies on that.
Thank you, MoDre. Thank you for spending your evening with us. I truly appreciate you coming on my show. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow him and his career. And if you don't already, please make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And thank you guys again. Episode 43. We're out. Have a good night, guys.
Bye. All right, Ash.